Don't force yourself.
Try our best.
Well, hey everyone.
Hey, it's a Monday. Something different.
I know, right? It's kind of weird to be doing it on different days like this.
Although it is kind of chaos here during the first few days of VKet. There's always a lot of things going on. Some of those things are community events which have already started. They've taken place. We did some pool. We did some.
Yes.
We had some world hops. There was all kinds of stuff that had happened already. And we're going to talk to a few of those community managers today.
Yes.
And find out a little bit more about their stuff. So maybe you'll be encouraged to come check out what they're doing, which you can find on event.vket.com and our social media, like all of them.
Just a recap for those watching, by the way. So for the past 3 days now, it's been VKet. So we've had our opening ceremony. We've had our
Friday night.
Yes. Yes. I'm trying to remember the things we did via stream. So we did the opening ceremony. We went to 2 worlds or just 1 world. We went to 1 world, but the 2 different versions of it. And then we also had the billiards tournament that you were in. We also had and then we had the oh gosh, I'm forgetting already. We had the LPD. We had an LPD excursion, so we actually got invited to the LPD's event. We had to check that out. That was a lot of fun. People got arrested.
We had a party stream as well.
Yeah, we also had the DJ event. That was really cool. And now, and we also had the ambassador / VketChan meet and greet. That was last night for me. Yeah. But obviously,
last night if you're in Japan, and in the morning on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was more aimed towards a Japanese audience, but it was obviously open to everyone. But yeah, that was a lot of fun too. And so now, today we're doing the community get to know thing, which is gonna be really exciting. And I think Tomorrow, we have something happening every day, literally. So just keep your eyes on social media.
If you want to keep track of it, we're gonna have to do that. We have to do this too. Thankfully, Haya has been so wonderful to make sure that our Discord is up to date, and we have a bunch of community events listed in the events tab, the standard community calendar that you'll find on Discord, and you can follow and subscribe to those events so that you can get notifications too.
Yeah, exactly. Like even I'm like doing really bad with my like time keep. So every time I'm like, wait, what are we doing today? I'll go to Haya and be like, what am I doing? And she'll be like, go, and she'll just throw me into like the direction I need to go to.
I gotta say, it is a blessing to have so many people so enthusiastic about doing things with us and coming in at community events. We know that you know, every live event like this can have its foibles, and it can be quite difficult sometimes. And you know, we do the best we can, but keep pushing, because people appreciate things so much when you guys are involved with it, and we appreciate when Western communities or you know, majority English speaking communities come in and do events with us at VKet. And you know, that means a lot. It's really difficult to come into to virtual market like this. It's very intimidating, I can tell you that. But we've been working with these groups for several months now, and we'll do the best we can to make sure that their events go off without a hitch and they get the promotion they deserve, which is what we're here to do.
Exactly. Okay, so with that being said, we should start getting to know the 3 different communities that we're about to meet, and then from there we'll go one by one on going to the world that they have, like maybe a booth or something they prefer to go at. Get to like really deep dive into like the lore about them and like what they've been doing and more about them, and then we'll just keep doing that until we get through all 3 individuals today.
Sounds good.
All right, so we invite them up here, or should we like grab them and like, you want to grab them? They're here. They're here with us.
Why don't we grab all of our community? Yeah, come on up here, community leaders. Let's talk to you guys.
And I don't want to put down all the hard work
all right,
everyone did.
there you go. Come here. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, don't be afraid. Pop up on stage here. Yeah, that's cool. We're looking for. Let's get some bits.
We have a feedback form.
Yeah, thank you.
Whoever wants to speak, one of you's got to come up here.
Whoever gets some bits, wants to.
Come on, we need you. Thank you.
There we go.
Feel free to join us.
Look at these beautiful individuals. All right, so we'll go from these 2, and then we'll go down this way. So let's go ahead and get some names, introductions, and what community you represent.
Hello, my name is GS Genesis. I work with the game show communities of VRChat, which comprises of 2 VRChat groups. There we go. 2 VRChat groups, 2 Discords. We run game show events. We dedicate ourselves to the passion for the past 7 years. And we basically are, in a sense, the leader in VRChat game show entertainment. We've done work for several communities, including this one, including a special event coming up this Saturday. I've worked a lot on these worlds to inspire others. So yeah, we're going to learn more about that soon.
There you go. Thank you so much. All right.
If you guys like classic game shows, that is the place to be. That's for sure.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Next, sorry, I'm going to handhold this one. All right.
Hi, I'm Volgazicht. I am one of the co-founders for Skits and Bits. We're one of VRChat's largest improv communities. We hold workshops every Saturday and hold a show every once a month. And we do all the little projects and collabs all over the place. And we're doing a workshop for VKet this Friday. Check that out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay.
Last but not least, Scootawas.
Hi.
Tell us about Ministry.
I'm Premier. Yeah, I'm Premier for Ministry Promotion. We have a pretty sizable team of people who love to see VR grow, and so we dedicate ourselves to bringing attention to projects and teams of all sizes, whether it be something with a brand coming into VR or a community that just wants to start out or anything in between. We want to give it as many tools and resources as possible and have as many people show up to enjoy it. And we have a lot of stuff going on with VKet this year, which I guess we'll talk about in a bit, but a whole lot, so hard to nutshell.
Awesome. Okay, so with that being said, this is the part of the stream where we're going to jump into, first is Genesis, I believe, right? Genesis will be first.
Let's start with let's do it in order. Yeah.
And we're gonna go to a world that Genesis recommended that we jump into, and then from there we're gonna learn more about the community. So we're gonna put you in a commercial break, and we'll be right back. Hey everyone, we're back. Welcome, welcome. We're at the booth now.
If you want to check this out, make sure to come to Electro Peace. It's a Quest-compatible world that's completely different from VketChan Summer. If you were here, if you weren't here at VketChan Summer, now you got a chance to see. Right here at the very beginning, you can't miss it. GS Genesis and the game show communities of VRChat, right here. So, I guess, Chad, do you want to start? Should I start?
Please go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna be like pressing buttons over here.
All right, no worries. All right, Genesis. So we heard a little bit about this just before jumping in here, but tell us again. You have two different groups, so two different VRChat groups and Discord communities. Tell us a little bit about how those two differ and what your community is all about.
So we're gonna start with the groups themselves. This right here is the first one that got started, the game show community of VRChat. I pluralized it because to emphasize the both nature of it that we work together. This is the one I started. It's got all the worlds I've made, including the new Berserk Immersed world, which is the video game themed one, and The Price is Right coming soon, which people are very much looking forward to. But this is the community I started just to kind of get a jump start on kind of get my foot in the door with trying to branch out to groups, to people, to events, to kind of freelance these shows and host them and have people enjoy them. So the group is public, currently during VKet. Anyone can join during VKet. It's not set to ask to join. So we encourage you to join both communities in a sense. The other one is asked to join though, so we will have to let you in. And on that note, the game show at VRChat is mainly my friends' servers. They have a separate VRChat and Discord group, and they are the ones who organize the events. They host them every Tuesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, which translates to 10 a.m. Japanese Standard Time. And it says 9 a.m. on the Japanese side. That was a typo.
No worries.
But yeah, we host events, we host game shows in Discord, mainly VRChat, host other miscellaneous stuff as well. So that's basically the difference between the two groups. One's just a general hangout, the other is where we do all our shows.
Nice. So if you haven't done VKet before, we have our standard group link in here, and you can click on those and instantly join the group straight from whether you're on Quest or PC. The best part about this is, I guess all of your worlds are Quest compatible, right?
A bunch of them, yes. The ones that are not, I have not updated in forever, but those will update hopefully soon. Like Sail the Century and Gauntlet are the two major outcasts. I haven't updated those.
There's only like two. That's not too bad.
There's only two, yeah. There's only two. And password as well, the original password. But everything you see on this poster is Quest compatible. Jeopardy, Countdown, Millionaire, Family Feud, Super Password, Press Your Luck, Wheel of Fortune, Hollywood Squares, Match Game, ID, Berserk, and of course Price Right's going to be, and they're also iOS compatible for those who are testing the current build and the open beta or closed beta of iOS.
I guess that means it would work on a cell phone as well. Wow, you can get pretty expressive with that. Some of the cell phone stuff is even better than PC now. You've got facial tracking, right? That's in beta, so it's pretty good.
Yep.
And you have a large group that's doing regular events. Do they do? Are they hosted? Do you I know that you host some of your events as well. Tell me a little bit about the game show community and their hosts. How does that work out for them?
We have dedicated streamers and wannabe hosts. We have people I can name off, right? We have Alice Jellyfish and Bond Maplewolf who do the streaming side, as well as Timidator. Very good friends of mine who also help with the stream side. And they also host occasionally. Other hosts include Tokens Arcade, who is an avid TikToker and con goer. We also have who else? We have Stormwolf, we have Jaguar Master, all good people I know in the game show communities, both of them, of course. And they all dedicate their passion to this kind of this genre, I guess, of worlds and also how we do our events.
Cool. So, obviously, if you're a fan of game shows, you probably want to join. What else would you say to people who maybe haven't gotten into this kind of thing? What makes it so compelling, right, for people like Domafox and other folks that you've mentioned in the last little bit? And I'll have to get a list from you so that we can promo them on our channel and stuff. What would you say to people coming in and who's never been on a game show before, or is maybe has watched a few episodes of Price is Right or something like that, and they think they might want to get involved? What would you say to them about your worlds and how? What would encourage them to give it a shot?
I think what would encourage them is all the detail that goes into each of these worlds. It's the littlest thing that goes into each world. Like, you got the actual seat count in the CBS Studio 33. You have all the little lights in Press Your Luck. You have the whammy animations in that world. You got a working wheel in Wheel of Fortune. that actually spins and is physics based. You have all the lights that go down in Millionaire, they're real time. Everything like that is extremely replicated to the littlest thing. And also it's just the experience of it all. People, those old sets, like the old Jeopardy set at KTTV in Los Angeles, Metro Media, doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. So in a sense of preserving television history and also giving the experience to be on a game show there where it's a rare opportunity. You have to apply. Granted, I tried to get on Press Your Luck this year. It wasn't successful. You have to apply. You have to be interviewed. You have to go through a lot of steps in order to get on a real game show. And after you travel out to the studio, wherever it is, in New York, Los Angeles, wherever, it's tough. So what I do actually, in a sense, is provide a hard experience and give it easy access to people who can't either are ineligible or are avid fans. And I provide the experience pretty accurately as well.
That's nice. I guess you could say you could almost practice, right?
I got a question I'd like to dig into though. Like, so me being like somewhat new, I mean, it's been 4 years since I joined VRChat, but when I was going through VRChat, I would go through the search and I'd be like, oh, I wonder if this is available. I wonder if this world's like existed. And I was like thinking, there's no way someone made game shows in VRChat, right? And then sure enough, I look it up and it's you, the one making all these worlds and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, the GOAT, like someone actually did it. And so I guess like my question is sort of like, what made you go, I should start making, like, because obviously no one else has taken that chalice to do that. So you are literally the only one that I'm aware of that has gone through all this extreme effort to make all this possible. What made you want to do that?
That is a very good question. I have a very good answer to that. This is a long one. Hopefully it won't take too long, but it's a life story.
You got time. We're good.
Okay, good, perfect. Started back in high school when I went to a special school. I'm a special needs person, still kind of am, but I began getting interested in game shows when I realized my mother was actually on Jeopardy in 1998, about 9 months before I was born, coincidentally. And she was on the original version with Alex Trebek, or the current version, not the original. I was Art Fleming. And she appeared on the show for one day. She lost in Final Jeopardy. She was leading by $100, got the last one wrong. And she also appeared on another show with my sister called Figure It Out. Have you heard of that one?
Figure It Out.
Not sure.
It's basically a combination of What's My Line and I've Got a Secret, but it's Nickelodeon. It aired on Nickelodeon.
Okay.
My eldest sister and my mother were on that show with a little family history on it as well. And when I learned about that, I was like, what can I do for my school, in a sense? And I began making Jeopardy PowerPoint games, kind of in vein of the original version of the show, the 84 season. It didn't go well because I was bullied a lot in school, of course, which is sad, but it happens. But when I got to college, in my last year of high school, I did a joint, what is it called? A dual enrollment program with a local college, community college, and I did a Jeopardy game there, and they loved it. Was much better received because I was with a new group of people, very friendly faces. And then when I heard about VRChat and how you can make your own software, or not your own software, your own worlds, avatars, everything, I was already into the game show fray, well, knee deep. And I was learning about Press Your Luck, more about Millionaire, learning about the revivals that were coming out, like GSN and Buzzer, the two networks that air game shows primarily. And I thought to myself, and I was also good at Trimble SketchUp, which is for those who don't know, Trimble SketchUp is like the MS Paint of 3D modeling, and that's nice about it. That's a compliment.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to draw the shapes you want. You can draw the shapes you want, extrude them along their faces. It's pretty simple. You have the pro version, you can export FBXs, which is what I do. I've done it since the beginning. VRGen has also used that for McDonald's originally, so that's another good thing. And because I was good at SketchUp at the time, it got better.
Right there than Blender.
Yep. And I thought to myself, at that time, at that moment, what if I could bring an experience that's been obsolete for so long to millions of people? And that's what it all started, pretty much. And eventually, 7 years later, look where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty great. That's fantastic. Let me ask. So, well, maybe I don't have to ask. Let me take a peek. I'm gonna go take a quick peek at your page just to see what kind of so your worlds are really popular. They get seen quite a lot. So worlds like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire has like 10,000 visits. Family Feud has 151,000 visits. The Game Show Hub has 40,000 visits.
Hello?
Nope, you're still with
Oh,
us.
oh, there
I'm
you
good.
are.
All right, I'm good. Sorry, I'm back. I'm back. Sorry, I lagged.
No worries. I was just
Repeat
going
your
through the list.
question?
I was just going through the list. I said your worlds are quite popular. I was just going through some of these worlds. Like you've got in some of these worlds, you have more than 60,000, 150,000 visits. It's way more popular than people realize, and it's great to see a world creator come in here because you don't get as many world creators in VKet. But it's great to see a world creator come in here and help promote like the communities that form around their worlds. Because every world that gets put out there, you know, somebody loves it. But yours are loved by many, and it's great to have you here talking with us and bringing the detail and the passion to what you do. I think you'd mentioned it before, but it sort of slipped my mind that you were using SketchUp to build your worlds, and if for those of you who don't know, like there's a web-based version of this even that you can use, and it's you don't have to be a Blender wizard or be really good at Maya to make something incredible in VRChat, you know, and with Udon Graph and things like that are out there, it's getting easier and easier, right? So that's a great origin story. Let me put it that way. It's actually fantastic.
Yep.
So you've got I heard this booth has a few gimmicks in it, and you've also got a store item in here. And
I do,
you
yes.
said something about it. So tell us about the buttons you've set up using some of the prefabs that we provide, as well as your own stuff.
So of course I have the group links right here, but I also have a language toggle in case you want to toggle the language, if whether you speak Japanese, English, whatever your settings are. And
It's
it switches
local chat, so if you
automatically
wanna
to that
click it and show the
language.
stream.
Local toggle, yes, and I'll show you
Mhm.
everything translated from the board to the posters. It's all translated, including the rolling board back here that shows you the promos and also a few messages. Akin to the old Richard Dawson fan future that based on, along with a couple other things. This it's a local cycle, but it slides across. It's supposed to be like an optical illusion in a sense, but yeah, you got the posters for, like, it's local, but as you press your Lux promo right now, then it's next to there's going to be Doma Fox's worlds like Pyramid, Scrabble, Hollywood Squares, A6, and Card Sharks. Other ones include Berserk, The Price is Right promo, who has really kind of looked up to us, like Jar, the renowned worker who made Murder, Audience Anarchy. She's a very good lady, a very thoughtful person, and her community loves us as well. We've done work for Minutes at Valhalla, we've done work for Stream for Starlight, which I'll get to more later on that. We also have Millionaire and Countdown, Tokens Arcade, and Nito Noka made the original Countdown world, the modern one. So that's also promoted here, right there. In fact, I see it. And then you also have a couple interactivity features. You actually push the buttons here,
Nice.
and they are
And
global.
those aren't local. Those are global.
Yeah, that's, that's awesome.
Yep.
Very,
so
very
in case you want to get a photo op and at the right time. So it's like
Sounds like
you
a
do
video would be the
Family
way
Feud
to
style.
go.
Yeah, just like
You
that.
know?
And it lights up, plays the actual sound.
That's pretty
And
good.
then lastly, you have the store preview button, where I actually have something you can actually put on your avatar or your Udon world. You actually have a microphone akin to what I own and a very popular game show microphone, the Sony ECM51. Obviously, doesn't say that because
Oh, that's a
legal
good one.
reasons.
Yeah,
That's so
a good
specific.
mic.
That's so interesting.
If you go ahead
Yeah,
and you
'cause-
click, so it's like his version of it, right? It's
Mhm.
like those our version of Cologne, but it's the GS Genesis game show microphone, right? Pretty good. I
much,
like
yeah.
it a lot.
Yeah,
So this
exactly.
is the store
Game show
preview
microphone.
link, and a lot of people who might be new to VKet might not know this, but it's a browser link that works inside VRChat without having to open a whole window on your desktop. So pretty good stuff.
Yep.
So, like,
It's very nice,
just,
yes.
you self-taught everything that you've created. Like,
Whoops.
I mean, it's just fascinating that like all this exists because you just have the drive to make it exist and to begin with. So you just like self-taught yourself, because again, you've been there a long time ago, so I'm sure there wasn't easy YouTube videos like, hey, you want to make your own game show world in VRChat?
No.
Here's how you do it. Like you literally like did from the ground up everything.
Yeah, from SDK2.
That's
I
correct.
remember GS Genesis 7, 8 years ago.
SDK2,
so-
yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's impressive. I went by a different name. I was actually GS Genesis. Originally, then I switched it to like more game show. It was just sort of a game family because it was a group I was a part of, like a small group of
Right.
friends. Then I changed it to
Mhm.
change the F to an S to reflect game shows.
So it's
Just
Game
that's
Show
what it stands
Genesis.
for.
Yeah, there you go.
It makes sense, makes
That
sense.
makes sense.
Yeah, I'm actually added
Yeah,
a
that's
logo,
it's a long time.
little persona. It's been a long time.
So did
yes.
you see yourself? Obviously you're interacting with Udon now. What's your flow of choice? Are you using Cyan Trigger or other things like that, or what's your?
I use
what's your
Cyan
workflow?
triggers, also a little bit of Udon Sharp, because Udon
Nice.
Sharp allows me to store data like in Family Feud and Millionaire and do it more efficiently. Because one thing I've noticed with silent trigger is that if you use an array that edits strings or integers, it lags a lot. So I use Udon Sharp to store my variables and arrays.
Nice.
And I get them, and I pluck them from the arrays to use in the triggers.
Yeah, VRChat's pretty powerful. I was gonna ask, did you find that are you excited for persistence? Do you think are you thinking of adding like all the time scoreboards to some of your worlds?
I've actually already added persistence to Berserk Immerse, where it will save your high score.
Already.
The highest score
Oh.
you get will be saved locally, and if you break that high score anytime, it will update it. You can come back later, and it'll still be there on your leaderboard where the Hall of Fame is. If you don't break it, but still set in the instance high score, it will save in the instance score, but not your own score.
Nice.
I'm hoping to
That's
add
very
for
cool.
achievements very soon, because I'm trying to figure out how it gets up. I might ask advice from Jar, because she did achievements to Murder 4 persistence. So I get advice for that to get persistence syncing for the achievements, because achievements get you unlock a lot of stuff. You can unlock avatars, extra options for Berserk Immerse. You get a
That's a
music
great
player,
idea.
because I made all the music in that world based on the original Vectrex medley when you boot up the game.
I'm really
which is,
excited for
pretty
like
cool homage.
for how all of these game worlds and things like that are going to extend. Now that persistence is in, and now that you've got passionate people like yourself, you are immediately jumping on that. In fact, VKET still has the old method for saving achievements, so we have an achievement system here as well, but it's still using an older method. Obviously, we couldn't, with VKET releasing when it did, we couldn't do persistence, but I'm pretty sure we will next time. But it's amazing to see people like yourself who are able to do it right away, like immediately. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
This platform does allow a lot, and obviously you get a lot of passionate people who can both roleplay or just ad lib, and a lot of these things. These game shows aren't entertaining unless the people who are playing them are having fun and joking around, and that's part of the beauty of it.
Exactly, yes. That's what I strive for. All I want is for people to have fun in these. I don't make a profit on them, of course. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for fame. I just do it for people to have fun. It's just basically what it is.
But you do it sometimes to help other people, right? So tell us a little bit about your event coming up.
I'll get that right now. So on Saturday, December 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Japanese time the following day, we are doing a very special charity game of Press Your Luck, where Midnights in Valhalla, Chris, Connie, and Pablo's Corner will compete against the Whammy for a chance to donate 10% of their score to the Starlight Children's Foundation. Whoever wins.
That's fantastic.
On a
That's
special
awesome.
set. Yes, the world's already public right now in case you want to take an early look, but obviously our players
Yeah,
are not allowed in right now.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's
Go
a
ahead.
really good idea, actually. Why don't we, with that information, why don't we jump to your world? I think it was
Let's do that,
it's a
yeah.
good use of.
Oh, okay. We get to show a little bit. We get to show it early.
Yeah, if
Let's
you're
do it. You
cool
want me to
with a
drop the
preview,
portal?
this is the time to do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Sure. All right,
Okay.
do you want to drop it or should I?
No, you go ahead.
All right. With that, we'll do a
Thank you.
quick
I will
commercial
drop
break.
it for right now. I'll make sure it is a group plus. Find it here. Here it is. Make sure.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. So we got pulled into one of the coolest new worlds in addition to what's happening for VKet Winter, and Genesis made this lovely looking location. I mean, look at us. We even got an audience already. That's awesome. It's so
super
cool.
custom version of Press Your Luck with all the VKet logos and stuff. It's amazing.
So
it looks really good.
Correct.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a very knowledgeable person when it comes to Press Your Luck. So I think Genesis, if you could give us a rundown of how this game works and what we can look forward to, that'd be great.
It's a basic combination of trivia and gambling. You have to be smart and lucky. So players are asked questions on that console right there. They sit there. They have a big red button in front of them. They push that button, slam as hard as they can to answer questions. By buzzing in, they give an answer to the question. And if they're right on that question, they earn 3 spins. But before that, the host gives that answer and 2 other answers to the other players for 1 spin apiece if they're right. 4 questions are asked per round. And the the spins they earn become cash and prizes on that big board. I'll activate it in a moment. But right behind those color squares are prizes and cash, but also a little red cartoon character called a whammy. If you hit him, he takes away everything you've won up to that point, reducing your total back to 0. Little animation plays. That's right from the show. And the player with the most money after 2 rounds wins the game. But in this one, whoever wins the game has 10% of their total score donated as cash to the Starlight Children's Foundation for up to a maximum of $1,000. Minimum $100.
That's pretty
I feel
great.
like I'm actually on the show. The way you you
Yes.
introduced that and explained everything, I felt like I actually was in the show for a split second.
The man is a pro. You know, they say 5 years and you're an expert. He's beyond that now.
Just watch out for that thing. He's well locked into place like that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Push the brown
Makes
button.
And this is your life now.
Right
You live
brown
here.
button right there.
I see it. Boom. There.
There you go.
So really smart. So you thought about that. So you actually you lock the host into position so they don't accidentally move out of place while they're gesticulating or
Because
whatever.
also, this whole thing rotates 180 degrees at periodic points, so your host has to stay in place
What?
in order to achieve the effect.
That's awesome.
I'll show you. I'm
That's
going to be in the
awesome.
back. Well, I'm gonna,
All right.
Feel free to stand here. I'm going to go backstage real quick, and I'll show you
Okay.
how a few things work. Just stay out right over there.
All right. Okay.
So it's so cool.
This is so crazy.
And there's so much
There's
work
so
into
much
this.
here.
Look at this shot.
An
This is so
unbelievable
cool.
amount of work.
Hi, are you here? Hi.
Yes.
Hi,
we're here.
Shadow-san. Why don't you take the remaining seats and show everyone
Come sit down.
how it
Oh,
looks?
okay.
Come sit
Hi,
down. Yes.
Hi, do you want to join us?
And also, one more thing.
What
One
should
thing
I-
else
what
I
should I
did
do?
for the PC
Yeah,
world
sit
is I
down, there you
added a render bubble, which will allow you to stream the game with an undistorted view. So it's off to the
Well,
left.
actually, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Chad,
let me-
if you want to
yeah,
throw
let me,
your camera in the render ball,
Yeah.
throw
Let me
the
do that.
render ball over here.
Yeah, I kind of want. I don't know if I was the first to do it. Probably one of the most recent. But yeah, it's a very
There you
handy
go.
tool if you want to stream the game. Use a screen space shader, which is probably the only best and probably the only logical time you can use one.
Yeah, that
Whenever
makes sense.
Oh, I'm
All right, here we go. Let's
Alright.
do a little test here. We got a little full custom flashing logo, and let's get started. Everybody, here we go.
Yeah. Oh,
Play the bells, and we're ready. Let's start world sound first. Hang on. Do that. There we go. All right, here we go. World sounds up. Almost forgot. And here we go. Hang on. Try to reach the buttons.
Oh my gosh.
These 3
Wow.
VRChat community leads are after big bucks for charity. But they'll have to avoid the whammy as they play the most exciting game of their lives. From Virtual Market Winter 2024, it's time
That's
to
sick.
press your luck.
Look at this. Look at this.
We're
We're
rotating.
actually rotating.
And now,
Oh my gosh.
your host, the star of Press Your Luck, VR's game show pioneer himself, GS Genesis.
Yeah, it's just me. Hello. I'm in the booth, but you'll see me on stage during the actual game. My operators will control the game during the show.
That's awesome.
Woo!
That's the gist
Oh
of
my
it.
gosh.
We got custom camera angles during the game that are all controlled with a few things. I have this big console of buttons back here, but it does the job for operators. I can stop the board, I can cycle through and change a few things, but all the camera angles are accurate to the real show. They are custom toggleable.
So you can
Animated.
so I made the mistake of not throwing up our stream while we were doing this here, and so you're able to control all of the camera angles from where you were sitting, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm in
he's
the back.
swapping everything. I see it on
Behind
my
the
thing. He's swapping
VketChan
all the
wall.
cameras.
That's
Yes,
fantastic.
that's correct. Very much correct.
Well, that's really good. Really good.
So
I'm gonna
cool.
rotate back around just once. So I'm gonna rotate back around just once so I can show you the big board round. We'll do a little test here. So
All
I'm
right.
gonna rotate you around. I'm gonna cover up the board. You step forward. Let's do the second round of play, and here we go. Rotate everything around once more.
Oh, bye bye, everyone.
The fun part here.
That's the stress, right? He can force you into the to stare at the crowd in shame as you whammy.
Yes, let me just do a couple things here. Stop the board. Oh, stop the board. Thank you. I'll give you 3 spins each. Just to be safe, we're gonna do a little test to get acquainted with the game, and so our players know what to expect when they're actually participating. Here we go with the return. All right, players, it's time to face the big board. We have over $100,000 in cash and prizes up there. Also, whammy, so urge to be cautious because this is a test. Not much happens here, but we're going to start the player with the least amount of spins, which is a 3-way tie. So we'll start with our first to my left. That is Lund. Are you ready to press your luck?
Yeah.
Button is active right about now. Here we go.
Oh no.
That's a whammy.
Oh.
Can I change your time? That's okay. Here we go.
That's so good.
That's fantastic.
Well, that's a way to start. You got 1 whammy. You got 2 spins to go. Press your luck or pass.
I think I'll pass it.
Did I pass? Okay. Now, when you pass your spins, they go to the player most likely compared to you, but none of the your opponents have any money. So they have a choice. So I pass them to Chero-san or to Haya.
All right, we'll pass it to Haya. You got. Let's see your button skills.
Spins.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yes, but Haya is the last place player to play because she is the first to the right in the event of a tie. So Chero-san is first. Let's see how well you fare at press your luck.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, it even has sound effects.
Oh,
Stop
there
it.
you go.
Stereo. The stereo is worth, wrong button, $1,550. Takes up to that amount. You have 2 more
Wow.
spins. You press your luck.
I love
or
how
pass
the-
them.
I'm gonna do one more
2
spin.
more spins.
One more spin. Let's go. As soon as the button comes back. Here we go. Oh, hit the wrong button.
Oh.
It's not easy in VR. Trust me.
I believe you.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, here we go. Let's try this time, and here we go. Stop it! A
Oh
whammy.
no.
Ah,
we have terrible. luck
we're
up here.
terrible. I'll get the New
Oh, I love
Orleans
it.
one. Mhm.
That's 1 whammy for you too. You have 1 more spin. You want to build it back up or pass it? What you want?
I'm
It's
gonna-
at your pleasure.
I think I'm gonna pass it.
All right. Yeah. You want to pass it to Lund or to Haya?
I'm gonna pass it to Haya.
Because you're all 3 are tied. Haya gets another pass spin. Here it comes. Now, Haya, as the player with all the pass spins, these first 3 spins must be taken, and they can't be passed back unless you hit the whammy. That's another rule that's important. So let's see how well you fare with the press your luck. Are you ready? Here we go.
Here we go.
Stop at
Nice.
$750 and a spin.
Ooh.
Great start. You draw 750. You
I
have
got
4
the
spins
money.
earned, and you got 2 more spins to take. And these, the pink spins must be taken first. You got 2 left.
Oh, one more.
2 more.
2 more. Let's go.
Stop it.
Oh my gosh, what the
$750
heck?
spin.
Okay.
Racking up the spins, you're
So
now
we know who we're taking to
1450.
Gadgetopia.
1450. You have 1 more spin you have to deal with. Let's take it now. As soon as I get my camera situated, why am I pointing the
There's
right
a
way?
story out of Outland Sensei.
You know, let's do a couple more spins. Don't worry about it. Here we go. Let's try this one.
See, that's just.
Oh my god! Hey, yo, this is hey. Who's paying
This
the?
is
Who's
crazy.
paying the
Yeah,
host?
3450. All right. Now you have. Let's just reduce that spin down to 1. Now you have a choice. Actually, let's do this instant situation here. I'm going to give you each a little bit of money
Okay.
to work around with. Let's say let's give another example here. Let's say Lun somebody made a comeback and has in his bank $12,260 in cash
Oh my
for
gosh.
prizes. That's just an example. Now, as the second player, you can pass to Lun, hope it's a whammy, or you can take it yourself. What do you want to do?
You can just take my money. You should do it.
All right. Listen carefully, Lun. The spin has come over to you from Haya. You need to avoid the whammy to win the game. And if you get another spin, the game goes on, but otherwise, Haya's the winner. This is just a test. It's only a test. No tones. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's take that spin.
Do I have to roll like Haya does to get lucky? I got a motorboat.
Stop at a motorboat.
Oh my gosh.
Motorboat is valued at $4,891, and the winner is Lun.
Yeah, you did it, Lun.
Now you guys know how to play.
You did it.
I don't feel too accomplished this time.
You did it. I'm so proud
Well
of
done,
you.
Genesis. I think Haya did it.
You win
Definitely.
$16,950 in big cash prizes. So I'm gonna come
So
to
cool.
just a moment as soon as I stop the music.
Wow, that's awesome. Haya, you are definitely we're taking you to Gachitopia. That's
Yeah, that was
obviously how we're
insane.
gonna get all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is your? Yeah, we didn't have to press any luck. She just had all of it.
Yeah.
I love the spin animation. That's real good. Well done, guys.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But yes, that is your
Incredible.
demo of the show. So again, just for the outro right now, right?
Mhm.
Outro.
Oh yeah, let's do an outro.
Sure. So that is the world we are going to use for Press Your Luck's event on September. Oh, I'm lagging. Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I
You're
like
still
it. Sorry. So, good. Perfect.
No worries.
So this is the Press Your Luck world that's going to be used on September 14th. Remember, 7 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Japanese time, right here in the VketChat live stream channel, and also our streamers like Alice, Spawn, and Timinder will also be streaming the event, hopefully. So be sure to tune into them as well in case you are unable to attend through VKet. We also encourage you to basically just enjoy these worlds. And this world's also public right now until VKet ends. So you have a limited time to come see it if you want to check it out yourself. But
So you're
that is
that here,
basically
guys.
all
You can come play it.
Yes, play anytime you want. Just if you're a contestant on the event, don't come here till then. All I ask.
Yeah, just so you don't know. Yeah, you don't know you gotta get them in there. Sort of fresh, right? So they're learning. For
Yes,
the first
exactly.
Time. That's really good.
Exactly.
I like
Also,
it.
one thing I forgot to mention about this world, there are custom questions that relate to VKet, that relate to Japanese culture and to VRChat. A custom set of questions exclusively for this world until it is off.
Oh, that makes sense.
There you go.
Yeah. So
but
if you're watching our ambassadors, definitely ambassadors and streamer friends, make sure that don't cheat for sure.
Don't cheat. But that is what we do at the game show communities of VRChat. You can join our discords through the posters provided in the back of each world and certain points and our booth. You can also join our VRChat groups with the links provided. And we always encourage new users to join for the heck of it, to see what they like, and of course to basically take a trip down memory lane. But that is what we do at the game show communities of VRChat. I'm GS Genesis, basically the pioneer, you can call it, of VRChat game shows, but there's a lot more people out there, of course, and it's just me who make the stuff, like Doma Fox, of course. We have tokens, we have a lot of good people on the game show community side. But that is what we do, and I thank you very much for spending this time with us.
Yeah, thanks for doing
Awesome.
this with us.
Thank
It's
you
great
so
to hear.
much.
You've inspired so many people to do so many things. It's like really cool.
You're
That
very
was really
welcome.
fun. That's really well designed. I'm super impressed. And
Thank
again,
you.
this is a Quest compatible world, everybody. So
Quest and iOS?
Yep. Quest and iOS. So come check it out.
Yep.
Come play some games. Well, great stuff. Great stuff.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna move on to our next one. We'll give everybody a quick break, get some water. Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to this event. I can't miss this live stream. I'll be watching for sure. You guys
Good
gonna
idea.
watch? You guys gonna watch the live stream? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So remember, the contestants are Midnights in Valhalla. We're gonna have Chris Connie as player 2 and Pablo Escobar as player 3.
Oh, the three of them
two
know how to
others.
talk. It's gonna be fun. I think that'll be
pretty good fun.
hilarious.
Yeah,
they're all big talkers.
Only
It's
one
gonna be
winner,
a good
though.
one. That's right.
All
I
right.
think the real winner is Starlight Foundation.
Exactly.
All right,
Okay.
cool.
Commercial time.
All right,
We'll see
we're
you
gonna
all
get
in
set
a
up
little
for our
bit.
next one. See you soon.
Take your time. Yep.
Hey everyone, we're back. I'm over here. Look, I'm behind the counter.
So we're here with Skits and Bits Improv. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your world, what your community does, and we'll start talking about your event.
Of course. Oh, our event? Yes. So this Friday, we're going to be showing off what we are most known for, which is our weekly improv workshop. So we've been holding workshops like almost every Saturday around 6 p.m. Eastern to give a chance for folks of all skill levels to be able to either learn or sharpen their improv skills. They're open to both Quest and PC, and we try to be very open and welcome and make sure that everybody's like comfortable and able to get the kind of improv education that we're trying to provide for them. So this Friday, we're trying to do that for you guys in one of your worlds, and we've got a whole bunch of our team leads. We've got a nice staff. Their portraits are on the opposite wall, rare and ready to go to lead everybody in the fun.
In that. So when you talk about getting very good at improvisational skills, so the 10 words you can't say easily, right? So what would that entail? Like, what do you think? I think that from one, I always found improv to be a great way to learn public speaking skills and to do interviews like this one, as well as just be more social. What are some of the skills that you think that you can learn with you guys, and what kind of scenarios do you focus on?
I mean, first and foremost, we do focus a lot on comedic improv, but we do have courses in narrative improv, and we're currently running a course on interactive theater.
Oh wow!
And yeah, run by our one of our team leads, Cilantro, and we've found that people who've come here, and including myself, improv has been kind of very freeing in being able to just kind of find a way to get on stage and just not be terrified to be there. It's kind of you just kind of get up there, and one of the greatest things is with improv is you're not supposed to be alone. Whoever's on stage with you, they are supposed to have your back. There's no competition in improv. It's a very team-oriented sport, so to speak. So, even if you're afraid, it's oh, what if I screw up? It's well, it doesn't matter, because these people are going to jump in and make sure that whatever mistake you made is now part of the plan. So it's been great, kind of building trust with folks and team building. And as you've already expressed, it helps, quick thinking for things like interviews and public speaking. We've had folks who've done improv, and they're hey, I credit doing all these workshops with you for getting that job interview and getting that job I got. And I was oh, that's great. And we've had many members come in, even just muted, they didn't talk at all. And we usually let people observe the workshops and not participate, or extract themselves from if they're feeling too nervous. Yeah, just fine, just stand back and watch. And over time, these people will come out of their shells, and then a year down the line, they're just chatting up a storm. It's before couldn't get anything out of them, and it's a remarkable transformation to see. It's a lot of people overcome their kind of their social anxieties by kind of having this structured environment to kind of where it's okay to fail in a public setting.
I guess one other part about doing improv, doing it in the real world, you got to kind of come as you are. But in VR, you can put on a costume and be anything you want to be, right? A robot or a sentient mask, so to speak. So
yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Tell us a little bit about the Skits and Bits improv world. You got a lot going on here. It's a Quest compatible world. We're at a soup bar. How did this come to be?
Yes. When we founded ourselves, it was kind of what do we want our logo to be? We're kind of thinking along the lines of what if it was a Super Bowl, alphabet soup, because you make words with what you have available. That was kind of our thought behind it, and then it became our motif. So soup
nice.
was our tomato alphabet soup is our mascot, essentially, visually at least. And we've run with that and put in a soup bar here just for like kind of the jokes, and then all the soups and other materials have like some kind of joke relating to something that we've done or known for. And
Nice. So there's a
get
lot
them
of
all
in
up to
jokes in
place.
here, and the community sort of builds on that.
Speaking of community,
I've also
real
noticed
quick,
you've got...
Nyadu, thank you for the raid. We just got raided by Nyadu, one of our VKet ambassadors.
Oh,
So
Nyarchi,
thank you so much. Hi, everyone.
much.
Welcome. We're interviewing people about VRChat communities, and we're right here with the Skits and Bits team.
Great timing. Great timing for you guys to come in here. So if you ever wanted to do I know you're just joining us now. So if you ever wanted to come in and do improv, Skits and Bits is the way to do it. For everybody who's here right now, so we have about 100 viewers. What is the time for your event? One more time, and how do they find you?
The easiest way to get information on us, we usually coordinate things through Discord. So, which is pretty easy to find, just discord.gg/skits, the letter N, bits. We also have a Blue Sky and a YouTube, and that we try to maintain and keep up with, because we're always doing like shorts. And all of our performances that we do are live on YouTube and recorded there, so you can always catch things that we've done. We're doing it a little earlier this week. We always have it on Saturday at 6 Eastern, but this time it's at 5 Friday, I believe. So we'll be great and ready to go.
That's awesome.
See many people there. Yeah.
That's great. Again, thanks again for the raid, Nyaru. What perfect timing, to have all these lovely folks in here. Everyone. So it's pretty great. So tell us a bit about the events you have here. So you've been going for 2 years now, and on the right-hand side here we have this large wall with all of these different events, and I see some people we know. So you guys have been in VRChat's New Year's World. You've also been on the virtual reality show with Fia. It looks like you've got a few other things. Tell us about some of the ones we may not know about, and which ones stand out to you.
Ooh, okay. Let's see here. We used to, one of our closest partners for a while was, and they actually did something with VKet last year, I think. Was the Dimensional Postal Service. We used to do a lot of groups with them. Unfortunately, they're no longer around, but they did help us get started a couple years ago, along with the virtual, the VR Dance Academy. They're probably like our closest partners. They lent us their theater when we were starting, while we were constructing our own thing, and their founder, Dust Bunny, is a good friend of mine, and a big fan of what we do. And many of several of us, including myself, acted in Dust Bunny's Rain Dance award-winning show, Puppeteer's Tale. We also have done several workshops with the Trans Academy, so we kind of built a friendly partnership with them there, and always welcome to do more. Let's see, who else have we done things with? We've actually coordinated with CNTVRS like 4 times. We did a World Hop recently. Was for Halloween, where we were trying to sell attendees like these haunted homes and stuff, and that was a lot of fun to do with them.
Pretty cool.
And a lot of this is also our in-house things, kind of just major milestones in our journey over the past couple of years.
Well, that's fantastic. You guys have done a great job.
Oh, and PJKT.
Got a large
stuff with them too.
Yeah, of course. PJKT had you had a lovely booth there as well, so it's really good to have you guys here as well, and doing stuff with VKet as a community. So you got a pretty large world here. Does it serve also as a part of your stage? It's a meetup world. Tell us a little bit about this. All throughout here we have 8 or 9 classrooms where we try to break people up into groups of around 5. It depends on who comes. It kind of fluctuates from week to week. And there's individual classrooms all over the place that are auto is isolated from each other, so you're able to concentrate and work with your team lead on the lesson plan and do all the exercises that we did. Keep it nice and organized, and then we try to funnel people who come in late to which group might have the least people. And then up the stairs, right in the middle, our main theater is actually up there. Why don't we go take a look at that?
Yeah, why don't we?
And we'll talk about the theater. We got time. Let's take a look.
Okay. Come on, camera. Follow me.
grand staircase over here.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
Need the chandelier. Ooh. All these different rooms? Okay.
Little door animation.
Yeah. Fancy.
Get some great photos here. Oh, this is cool. It's cozy.
Yeah.
Also soup.
Yeah, we tried to have it be pretty relaxing for the audience. Like, you know, we've noticed in a lot of places people just try to like replicate like IRL theaters, and it's just like, well, we're in VR. Like, why limit yourself to like only what's like in real life? So it's like, let's make it a little more casual and fun, so that people feel a little more comfortable and they can come right up the stage here, watch our performers gesticulate wildly on stage and do their thing. Yeah, so here we got our usual audio boosts and stuff, and let people do their thing. I don't know if are you looking on?
We love audio boost. This is great.
You should be able to get on now.
Yeah, we can get up here.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Now you can go.
It's loud.
Yeah. What was the audio? All right.
No, we're good. No, it's loud. It's loud for good, you know, in good reasons.
So in a good way. All right.
Yeah, in a good way. You can hear us all from over there. So
yes.
Chad, we just need a portable one of these. Just take with us everywhere, right?
Yeah, it's all.
It's lovely
yeah,
to have.
absolutely. Yeah, it's every time we do our world hopping. Yeah.
Every time there's an audio boosted zone, it's like, let's stay here. It's really good.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier. You mentioned 3 different kinds of improv. Why don't you break down what are the kinds of things you would do in each one of those?
So our main one, of course, is our comedic improv stuff. That's our main focus, and what our typical shows are basically based on is like constructing scenes in that, finding the game, how to heighten yes and all those natural things, and how to kind of not worry about being funny, and then that helps you, you know, eventually do things that are funny on stage. And then for two years, one of our team leads, Nithya, has been running a course dedicated to narrative improv, which can be traumatic or comedic. That one's based on like kind of 20-minute to even like hour-long, like just essentially improvised plays. And he runs students through the whole course on different sections of it until they build up to do a student showcase that they put on a show for everyone and show what they've learned. And they also have their own kind of narrative improv troupe called A Passing Tale, and they do their own shows and stuff sometimes.
That's fantastic. So like awesome for the theater kids, right? Like who are coming in and they missed that experience in high school, right? Come back and do. That's really cool. That's really cool. I was a theater kid for a little while. So just a little bit, grade 9, grade 10 kind of deal. But it was fun. You know, there's something about being able to get on stage and do what we do. And I think it's part of the reason why I'm okay to get up on stage and talk with people now these days. You know, getting in front of people can be very, very difficult, and it's events and things like this that you can get yourself into that make it a lot easier, right? And you said there was a third kind, and it's more action based.
We're doing, we just started this course. We're on like our 4th week of 12 for like immersive theater. So it's teaching students how to perform and interact with the audience members. Because here, you know, we're usually just on the stage. As you saw, we have protections. It's like they're over here, we're over here. We dampen their sound, we boost ours. But in that environment, it's like you're open to everything, and you have to like learn how to build trust between yourself and the audience. And it's like, how do you make bridge that gap so that each of you are comfortable to interact? So like you're playing a character, and they're there to kind of experience that whole thing in this massive environment. We'll be doing a murder mystery for it.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So that should be fun. Probably based on the fact that we did one last year for TVRS.
There you go.
Put that all together.
Very, very cool. Murder mystery, huh? So that's awesome. So you mentioned it was weeks. So you're at week 4 of 12 weeks. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. It's a 12-week course that Salon and her teaching partner, Juffy, I've put together, and so far it's been good. I've also been taking it just to get in some more education on improv and stuff. So I'm always trying.
And that's once a week or multiple times a week or?
Once a week. We meet Sundays. The class is closed now. These are more advanced classes, so we try to do signups beforehand, and then folks go. And sometimes we have some exceptions when there's like somebody who like really into doing it and they want to get in on it. But at this point it's kind of getting a little let anybody in late. But we plan to do hopefully run something like that again.
Well, hopefully you get a lot more interest by doing this VKET event as well, and have a lot of other people like. So you heard it, you got to sign up early, but it's a pretty serious course, right? So 12 weeks is not a short amount of time. No. So do you feel like it's on the level of like a professional, something like Toastmasters or acting class? Do you feel that that it's approaching that, or is there even something unique about VR that makes it better than, say, taking method acting in college or something like that?
I definitely think it's like its own beast, because we have to figure out, especially even in just our own comedic stuff. It's like, how do we do theater in VR? Because it's like a lot of limitations that require like some physical stuff, like you can't do because you can't touch anybody. So we have to like come up with new ways to communicate something. Like if you're gonna swap out with someone, like you can't like tap them on the back. Like you have to get their attention somewhere else. And there's latency, so there's problems with that. And we've had another troupe that kind of like formed out of ours called Jalka Years. They do musical improv shows, and that's tricky because of the latency. So you gotta work. You gotta be really careful and figure that out.
So they're doing like actual like musicals or singing on stage as well.
Yes, they're improvised musicals. So like little short ones, but not.
But that's next level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost like freestyle rap, but freestyle musical, but on stage. That's intense. That's intense. So there you go. Wow, that is something. I couldn't even imagine where to begin with that. But 12 weeks sounds like a good amount of time to get pretty good at it. How long do your sessions typically last?
The class, if we're referring to that, they run about like 2 hours, and which is also the length of time that our normal workshops run. So we go about 2 hours. We'll have like 10 minutes of like let people come in and mingle. Then we have like another 10 minutes of kind of like semi-lecture where we let people know what the lesson plan is, see who wants to participate, break them up in the groups. So then the team leads, who we met an hour earlier beforehand to kind of get make sure everybody's on the same lesson plan, make sure there's no questions and stuff, and that we kind of test out the games and see if there's any kinks, and then let them loose. And then each team lead runs their own little class and goes through all the exercises and stuff.
So will it work? Nice. Will it work somewhat similarly to the during the VKET, like the open session for people who are signing up? So what should they expect for anybody who's here or anybody who's watching who's interested in doing and learning how to improv at VKET? How will that class operate? What should they expect?
It should run like our usual weekly ones. Our weekly ones aren't sign up. It's open to anybody to come.
There you go.
And so it's like our big advanced classes that it's like we try to keep. We don't want to like.
Okay. So I misunderstood. So you have a weekly event that anybody can come to, and then you have classes that require a sign up. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, our weekly one is open to all skill levels. So if it doesn't matter if like you've never done improv or you love doing improv, you do it all the time. It's just you just want to keep the gears lubricated so that you're not getting rusty.
That makes sense.
That's there. Yeah.
So to ask you again, so during the VKET event, what should people expect who are showing up? Like how does a typical open improv night work?
So we have folks, when we come in and we kind of give them like I said, 10 minutes beforehand to make sure. Then we'll gather everyone, and we have a host each week. It's usually a different person. We've got a whole large staff that we rotate everybody, different kinds of lessons, what they think they want to do. This week, our friend Letty will be running it, and he will kind of gather everybody, tell them what we're doing for a lesson, welcome folks in, introduce who the team leads are going to be, and then instructors like, hey, if you want to do the improv, please line up in this line, and we will assign you a number. And then anybody who's not interested, they're just there to observe. They can hang back and then join whatever group and then watch. And then they're also allowed to jump in should they feel kind of less nervous to do so. And then each team lead will go off into a corner in the world and do their lessons with them, run them for the next hour and a half. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And after that, we usually bring folks back together, let the team leads kind of give their thoughts, and then open it up to anybody who's participated, kind of do what we call roses and thorns, where you can share a rose with something that you thought somebody did great, or a thorn for like maybe yourself, where it's like, oh, I wish I could have did this better, and something like that.
I think feedback is great. I think it's one of the most important things when it comes to this kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Chad, have you got any questions?
I do, actually. So one of the things that was like in the back of my head was like, a lot of people who join like this community and everything like that, are there like a lot of veterans who are like maybe like have been scattered, but they couldn't find like a center that this community has made? Like, has there been like just like sub like communities that finally formed into this? Like, is there any kind of history like that what formed what it is today?
Much of what formed the initial structure, like essentially the staff. There was a group that predated this called Gob's Improv Emporium that ran for like about 5 years. That the leader of that shut it down, and everybody, didn't want to be without an improv home. So, myself and my co-founders, Switzerlad and Zircon Swift, we came together and formed Skits and Bits. Because before, the two of them were just like starting their own, and they were like, "Oh, why are we competing?" And it's just like, so let's do one big thing. And we were super blessed that there was just a bunch of people just raring to go, and we were able to form like a new staff like almost immediately. Of like hosts and team leads and stuff, and got right to doing the lessons, with our own updates to like what had been doing before, and trying to make things a little more inclusive, and then try and make it so like there's no competition in improv. Like all the improv groups, we try to have friendly relationships with, and not try to help them out where we can.
So you're saying the history of this group actually goes all the way back to Improv Night in the early days of VRChat, then, right? So it's like it's all the way back then, and technically, that's pretty great.
Improv Night, no. Gob's Improv Emporium, which was also previously known as VRChat Improv.
Right. Okay.
Improv Night. If you're talking about Improv Night with a K, that's a different group.
No, not them. No. It is the one we're talking about. So I am talking about the same version.
Oh.
It's been a long time. Okay. So yeah. That's very cool. Yeah, that's excellent. So that's been quite some time.
Yeah. I started doing stuff with them back in either late 2018 or early 2019. I joined up with them, and before that, I was involved with a group called Tuesday Night Improv in 2018 up till 2021.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're going to 2025, guys, so it's like 6 years.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So I do have an additional question I'd like to ask. So like,
cool.
For you to like execute like just like an improv session, how many would you need just to like get things going? Would you need like 3 people? Does it need more than that? What's like the basic average number of people that you see like do like a session here?
We ideally try to have like about 5 or 6 team leads. If it looks like there's less people, then team leads will pair up and then teach the class together. 3, I think sometimes like has been our like kind of floor for like being able to do something like that. But typically we're trying to get like at least 5 people plus the host to help run things, and it should be a little more than that based on like who's signing up to help run things this Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was like bigger. For some reason, I thought it was like you need like 8 or 10 people like to like do an actual session or something like that.
That would be chaos.
I guess so, right?
Yeah. I mean, we could this Friday's workshop. It could be our biggest one we've ever done. Who knows?
Oh, okay.
That would be lovely. We do have a record of that. I won't promise anything. We'll knock on this wood stage here, but it does tend to happen. So we've had other groups come in and they'll get a lot more people than they expect. But we're here for you, and we do encourage everybody who's watching to join because
we appreciate it.
Learning a new skill is a good time. So that's for sure.
Heck yeah. Anything that gets more people exposed to this art form, we try to be like a hub for more than just improv. Like people end up like collabing and doing their own projects and stuff together. So we try to be that and encourage and help kind of define what it is, like performing in VR is.
We have that in common. That is the goal of VKet, right? Is to try and expose people to things that they may not have seen before, groups and communities and avatars and worlds and creators. So we're very happy that you've decided to join us this time.
Absolutely. I'm glad you let us talk about ourselves.
No, of course. Chad, I know you've got tons of questions. It sounds like you're thinking about getting on stage, huh?
Yeah. No, because like I too was also in theater. I was in theater for a couple years, and this really hits the spot for me as well. It never came to my mind to like wanting to join a community because I'm just so busy with work and stuff like that. But this is definitely something I would love to like see on my off time when I have a moment to like spare and like check things out. I did used to go on YouTube a lot. This is probably like around the start when VRChat was spiking. And I saw like improv or open mic nights on YouTube that people recorded.
Oh, yeah,
like, wow, that's so cool. I can't believe that's a thing. You know, like that's so interesting that it makes sense. It makes sense that it exists, but like I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. And I don't know. I guess like because like I didn't know if there was like a hub to find this information or like who's like the go-to to like get your, you know, updated resources and stuff like that. So it is cool that this is like the place now to find that information, right?
Yeah.
Hope so.
So you said you upload on YouTube, right? You do, was it weekly?
Yes.
Do you weekly upload or like what's the feed like?
It would be about monthly because we do one show a month, and we actually just did we had to shift our show by a week because of Thanksgiving. But we actually did a premiere of a brand new show that we're doing called Improv Court that we have been preparing for the past few months. And it went out pretty well. It was a lovely success. It was a resurrection of an old show that we used to do way back at the other group. But Mia and Mike Hanna, the co-director for that project, helped, we figured it out, got folks in, and even Jake over there was a performer in it. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
To do even more of across the years, yeah.
Here's a chance to might as well, like perfect timing. Why don't you tell us? Why don't you show those socials so I can toss them in the chat?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's youtube.com/skitsandbits, right? That's one of them.
I think there might be a number associated with
I'm in the background. I'm in the background sneaking away trying to find it. Tell us more. Where else can you find Skits and Bits?
We do have a Twitter and which should be Skits and Bits Improv, and I believe it might be the same thing for our Blue Sky. I, for some reason, don't know it off the top of my head. We're probably more active on Blue Sky with that stuff now. We're kind of shifting in that direction a bit more.
Fair enough.
And of course, our Discord. Like Discord is the biggest place to find anything that we're doing and up to date.
Fantastic. All right, I've tossed those links in the chat, guys.
A lot of friendly folks.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. That's awesome. No, it's great. It's great to have you here. So again, for everybody who's here, before we move on to our final guest for today, what the timing for your event and how to join?
It should be 5:00 p.m. Eastern this Friday, and we should be just in like a Group Plus instance for VKet, and if you see it open, join on in, and at the assigned time, we'll get you in a group and start the lessons. Hope you enjoy yourself. It's going to be very basics, because we know there's going to be a lot of new people. Try and get them eased into where's the foundations of improv, and hope everyone has a lot of fun.
Yeah, so if you're new and you would like to do this for the first time, if you're coming into this for the first time, it's an awesome opportunity to do that. A little like low key because I guess at VKet, so a little bit less less serious, but a good way to get new people in the door, right? And in that community, or join their Discord that you can find in the chat on Twitch. If you can't, it's literally just discord.gg/skitsandbits. So definitely come check it out.
Easy peasy.
This has been awesome.
Yeah.
You got any burning questions, Chad? I know you're burning up here, but you got any burning questions before we?
No, like
before we run.
It's exciting. I don't know. It's just really cool to see this kind of stuff because the more like I do stuff with VketChat and everything, the more I realize how there's so many like deep, like enrooted communities, out there that just need more attention. And I guess like, what are you hoping for, like, as the years go by? What are you hoping that Skitsits becomes in the future? Are you hoping it to become like a huge, like maybe like a multi-premium TV show franchise? Are you hoping it to just like be just a big group that you've? What are your like hopes and dreams of the community?
We don't have like lofty aspirations like that. We don't really have. It's more we're hope we can continue to get folks acquainted with either this art form and also help facilitate projects and collaborations with other VR theater projects.
I do have one question that just came to mind. So your group will come in and help out other groups that need that sort of improv or a troupe to come in and flash mob people, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, we like I said, like TVRS several times. They've come to us for that. Recruiting, some of our actors for Dust Bunnies thing.
So in a sense, you guys have been on TV, right? For some of for things like Rain Dance and other groups like that, right? So there you go.
Still thing that, and then also with the DPS, they ran they had some things like Halloween, like these haunted houses and stuff. And then when they needed actors, they were like, hey, we're willing and helping. So anybody who's interested, we shove our actors towards them and stuff. So if you got like a friendly relationship going, or we interested in what project you're doing, we set up talks and see what folks want to do.
Awesome. Okay.
I could hear it in Chad's voice. He's like, "This is fun. I want to."
Yeah,
do this.
It is. I like low key. I was hoping like it's like, oh, and by the way, we're doing a thing right now, and like we could like experience one. But like I know obviously that ain't the case. But like even the setup too. This setup is great because it's like it looks like the kind of like set up like Whose Line Is It Anyway almost with the way the seating is and everything too.
Yeah, it's a little like that. Our old.
You've got some interactivity up here too, right? For the different.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see all. Can you see all of them? We got the ding and your typical ding and buzz.
Awesome.
The microphone, it does literally nothing. It's cosmetic, but some of our members are obsessed on being able to hold it when they're on stage. So here's the holding microphone. Not a ton of bells and whistles. We actually have another theater downstairs, like more of like a black box theater, and our narrative improv course has been the one to make the most use out of that, which is great.
We had a question, by the way. Why soup?
Like I said earlier at the start, when we were like kind of trying to define like what our like kind of themes were, alphabet soup came to mind because it was with the letters in the soup, you try to spell whatever you can, whatever what you got, and so that's what it's an improv. It's like you're handed like a gift from somebody, and you have to figure out what to do with it. And you can't think ahead in improv. Like if you are, that means you're not being present in the scene and you're letting your partner down. You're thinking about yourself. So we've had that where people are just like, oh, like I had a great idea for things. Like, nope, kill your darlings. Like, do not plan. Just in the moment and work with your partner or who else might be on stage with you to form the scene, explore together themes and find like a pattern, a comedic pattern in it that we usually call the game, kind of borrowed from the UCB manual.
There you go. All right.
That's pretty amazing. Well, thanks for casting a spell on us. This has really been fun. The theater looks great. The world runs very performant, especially with everyone here. I mean, it looks like you guys have really thought out. You've had many years to do this. I said this earlier with Genesis, but after 5+ years, 6+ years of doing something like this, you become an expert, and people don't realize it. As much as it may seem like, oh, we're just doing stuff in VRChat. You're learning real skills. This one especially, it's like kind of like downloading Kung Fu, right? You put the headset on, and then suddenly improv, right? It only happened as fast, but.
I didn't have any of the modeling or game dev skills that I have now. Before VR, now got in, I got obsessed. So you just learned everything I could.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm really glad we stumbled across your community, and you stumbled across us as well. One more time for those in the back. We got 3 minutes. So what's again on the dates and what your event is going to be about?
This Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, Skits and Bits are going to be hosting an improv workshop where we can teach you the basics of improv. We hope you come, have a wonderful time, and get to know us and what we do.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. And thank you so much for letting us do this. It's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. All right. And with that, I think we're jumping to a commercial break, and we'll be back with the next group.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we're back with Ministry.
Woo!
Hey everyone, we're back.
Hey, thanks for sticking around. We have quite a lot of viewers today. Again, thanks to Nyaro for the raid earlier on. And we're here with our final community group for the day. And I think we saved the best for last because we're here in Cirque du Personnage.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a full-on community booth right behind us. It's pretty good. There's some crazy stuff going on in here, but why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Well, my name is Scoot. I'm Premier for Ministry Promotions. This is Deli. She's one of our magistrates. And, well, we're Ministry Promotions. What we do is we promote VR events and try to bring as much attention to communities as possible. There's a lot of really cool bangers that happen that not a lot of people hear about somehow. And this community is just like we just saw with Skits and Bits, who've been around for like 5 years. And people are like, I've never heard of this. And so we kind of take that personally and make it our mission to bring as much attention to things like that as possible.
You take it personally.
Personally, they take them out in the corner, beat them up.
We want to see as many people enjoy VR for all the best reasons as possible, and so that's the primary function of Ministry, is to offer tools and resources to make that happen. We always like to take a backseat to whatever we're promoting, so that way it gets as much effectiveness out of us as possible, which is why it's kind of nice to be here today, because it's so seldom we get to talk about our team.
Yeah. So, talk about your team. What do you guys do as part of that promotion? Like, what is Ministry's main activities?
So primarily the candy, I guess, would be setting up campaigns for instancing and boots on the ground promoting in VR, which is one of the strongest forms. We also provide dancers and multi-instance support. We have a very vast dance team, and we have a very inclusive setup, so we share members from a lot of different teams as well that we're constantly working with and trying to feed. No two projects are the same. So, for example, with PJKT, we tacked on to HorrorCon to do a bunch of Twitter and YouTube shorts to try to kind of buff things up and made a difference there. But that wouldn't particularly work for something like our partners like Hypothetical or Schism. They have different channels that they operate through, and so we plug into those in different ways in taking things off of their plate so they can focus on their main pieces. And we just kind of offer logistics either with, again, multi-instancing support, providing dancers, connecting, the world developers with the right people, with the right assets, so that way there's not a spaghetti conversation of group chats. Anything we can do to simplify the process, and that's never the same with any two projects.
So you guys work as like sort of a community project management, and then resource finding, right? And providing things like dancers for different groups. And why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the projects you've worked on this year in 2024? Some of them happen in VketChan.
This year, yeah. So we actually have a bunch of posters inside I could show you, but first I'll mention the VketChat ones that are coming up. So there's 2 more coming up that we're helping our friends with QN, and we also have 2 of our own. So on the 13th at 8 p.m. EST, you can actually find us here. We're going to be with Jason from EOZ doing an AMA about dancing and full body in the community. The main talking points they want to get at is creating comfort and, immersion in VR, and how
let's back up half a second. Many of the people here watching might not know what EOZ is. If you guys have ever so no worries. So that's why we're here. So again, EOZ provides full body tracking accessories that you can purchase. They've done collaborative events with Trans Academy and with Slyfest, and also with VRChat directly. There's a special edition of those track straps as well. And so we know Jason quite well, and it's great to hear that you're working with them on this event coming up. Let's continue. What else? So talking about full body immersion and comfort in VR.
Yeah, so Jason actually started with a few friends of his just palling around in VRChat, and EOZ and Tundra started based on creating more comfort and opportunities to immerse in VR. To kind of augment that, after the AMA, at an hour later, we're going to be having a dance cipher with our friends our partners at Temple. They're a VR university. They offer coding classes, acting classes, dancing, all different types of dancing, break dancing, go-go dancing. We have 4 prefects that offer lessons there as well, so it's a very tight-knit partnership. And we're going to be here doing that before our final piece of that night, when we join our friends at QN and Slime for the Closet venue. There's going to be a big banger there. And then we'll be back again the 20th with them, and then roll that into the 21st for Music VketChat 6.
So you guys have so many events coming up. There's so QN is Quantum Networks, and they'll be doing an event, and Slime is the community behind the Slime Trackers. It's an open source or FOSS hardware community. So if you guys didn't know, there is an IMU based tracker system that you can get into and build yourself if you're so inclined. It's probably the cheapest way to go in terms of full body tracking, and also you're able to build things like they're able to take that software and even enhance things like Mokopi, which is a commercial product. So Slime VR is enhancing the Mokopi experience all by itself, right? So that's really impressive stuff, and these guys get to showcase that and work on it. So now you got my mind bubbling with all kinds of questions. How do you guys? So you guys, as a sense, sort of promote, dancing and full body engagement and working in being sort of immersed in this. And I've been a full body tracking user. I couldn't go back anymore. And you guys sort of understand that. But as a group like Ministry is really like a great showcase for why you would want to go all in on getting tracking, whether you're on Quest or PC. Tell us a little bit about that. What do you find so compelling about dancing and body acting and things like that in VRChat?
So, kind of to derail a bit, Ministry started because when a lot of us back in the day, before any of us got into clubs or hosting or project management of any kind in VR, a lot of us learned a lot of skills in the time we've been here. I got into 3D modeling and dancing. I've met people who have learned how to speak better and become public speech advocates. We've met people who have become coders, programmers, again, actors. So with us, it's really cool because we showcase a lot of different communities through our partnerships. Again, like with Temple, they are a university where you can learn a lot of different skills that you can then take IRL out of VR and apply to your real life. A lot of things in VR are stigmatized as kind of like we're a bunch of sweats in basements, but it's like back in the day we used to stay at home and work out and so we could go to the club and dance, or we can go to the skate park and get that couple more feet of air to hit that handrail. Now it's kind of evolved to we go outside, run around, do jump rope, getting fit, so we can come back inside and dance, do
back inside and dance in VR.
I love it.
So there's so much I could talk about with that, but I would be here all night.
Well, you actually gave me a great segue here. You'd mentioned learning to model. So when I met you, you had just learned how to, your skills mostly lie in things like Blender and just general modeling, but you hadn't touched Unity too much. But you did this booth pretty much 100%, right? So what was that experience like?
Always. So I'm not the best advocate for Unity. I love Blender with a passion because even though there's 9 ways to do everything, it can seem complicated, but there's always a way to get done what you need to. Unity has a lot of opportunities to get different results, but it was definitely a harrowing experience because it's a very temperamental engine. It wants exactly what it wants, but if you know how to give it that, you can get some really, really cool results. For example, a lot of the Quest worlds that you guys have, I love telling people, hey, do you know this is Quest compatible? And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah.
It's really good. It's really good to hear that. But one of the things that we actually talk about at Hickey, and one of the reasons why we do things the way we do, is because we want people to sort of challenge themselves to do things, and the deadline helps, right? So did you find that the deadline for having the community booth, because this is a little more involved than doing a regular booth at VKet, and obviously in this world there's tons of people who have additional booths, but you've got this much larger one. Did you find did you find having the deadline and the challenge and wanting to make the best impression in here, did you find that the really motivating to learn those skills in Unity and learn a little bit of world building as well?
Yes. A little bit of stress always fans the flames. One thing I've noticed, especially in VRChat and especially with Unity, is if you have limits to operate under, you typically get a better result.
That's right.
Without going into too much detail about it, the Nintendo 64 is a great example. It was the first time that 3D engines really started showing themselves in console gaming, but we got so many magical things because it was still so limited. Working with PJKT and different booths with VKet, and as well as what we're going to be doing New Year's for VRChat, it can seem really strict with the poly limits or only having so many materials or draw calls. But when you kind of know where that ceiling is, it kind of allows you to get more creative because you know where your bounds are. And then you can look at elements more focused, I guess. And things like reflections and masks that you might not think about beforehand or whatnot become more of a, I have to do this to get my vision done. And then it kind of, you start identifying with it more. You can really like fall in love with what you're doing as you're building it because you're watching it fit inside of this box you have to work in. Not really much.
Yeah, it's a flex to be able to get a good booth in there. Yeah, it's a good flex to be able to fit. It's a good flex to be able to fit a booth inside of the polygon limit and draw call limit. For those of you who don't know, we have a very strict system at VKet to make all of this possible because these worlds are so large. We want to make sure that everybody can have a booth in here, and to make that possible, we have a system called VitDeck, and it can be a challenge to beat it. But I have it on good authority that you are well inside of that, like the early side, because you're doing everything from scratch to begin with, right? Everything's atlased in here. So I think it's a good segue into the booth. So let's take a peek around and tell us a little bit about everything that's in here.
Sure.
Let's start with the outside, right? You got all these amazing
I was gonna say. So it's kind of hard to see because again we had to kind of scale it down, but every single one of these cards on here is one of our dancers on a tarot deck made by one of my prefects, Gregorith. They made every single one of these art pieces, and if you count them all, it's a full tarot deck. So we like to try to include as much as we can. The concept for the sign was made by another one of our prefects, and I made this from scratch as a 3D model, but Evening Sleepy did that. We wanted to kind of try to, because Ministry isn't a club, we don't have our own home base. So the goal was to try to it's always to fit into where we are. And so I don't have the makeup yet. You'll see it on the 13th, but we're all ready to clown up and, do the whole jester experience.
Oh, you're gonna clown, huh? Nice, nice.
I love
Yeah, I love how much you brought this whole theme into the booth too, right? I love that you've like kind of gone along with it. I noticed you got a friend over here also.
Yes, from Nakoni.
Nakoni brought
he was nice enough
their
to
vending
help us
machine
out with the booth actually, and in turn we offered to put his vending machine here.
Fantastic. Of course, you can join the group by clicking on this little sign over here. And so if you guys want to join Ministry and become part of that, this is how you do it. This button right here. This is great. I love the theme. I love that you've fit the whole thing. You've even got the circus tent posts on the sides here and all in front. So you went all out to make it look just right. A lot of people will do a booth like this, a community booth, and just make it a box, right? So take us inside. Lead the way.
So the world volume is about to get cut by a video. When you guys come by, you can definitely check this out. It's a little bit of what I'm explaining now. It's me and Evening describing what we do. If you like, we can watch it, or I can just explain everything in the booth real quick.
But let's go through the booth. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just wasn't sure if this audio actually took you over, because it did for me. But yeah, we'll start left to right, I guess. So we wanted to showcase some of our more proud events that we've handled to kind of show what the team's achieved, and some of the people that we get to work with. You already mentioned Slyfest. Our partners at Rift are a community partner of Slyfest, and for one of the after parties, we actually supplied logistics with Vestero, using shader motion, and gave dancers and media coverage to the after party for the Slyfest, this last one that just passed. Over here we have the Summer Music Fest that we did with VRChat. As you can see, they're all on there, and we offered multi-instance support for that as well. Dancers and a whole slew of promotion. Over this way, we have one of our strongest portal events. Now, again, Ministry's main focus is to try to expand the VRscape. We want to bring as much attention to VRChat and other VR technologies to as many people as possible. And this was actually held in Belgium by someone named Antic. And it was a very, very large venue, packed out. And we actually did the VR side with our partners at Cozy Club, and we invited Resumu, Hypothetical, Shades, Wyvern, Network, and The Den. And by the end of it, on the last bit, you actually had Mo the Lawn on the IRL DJ's visuals doing a B2B with him. And then in VR, you had the IRL DJ in his visuals. It was super cool. But we like to do these because we want to get as many people to go, what is that? What am I looking at? So we can explain it to them. On that same note, we have our partners at the Dreamwalkers. If you know that song where it's like, I'm so nasty.
Yeah,
that's that same Loki. They came to VRChat because they, again, have their own community there, very successful. They didn't come here to try to grow. Instead, they saw it as an opportunity to re-engage with their existing community and give them more content to digest. For this event, they booked Zardonyx and Caliber, as well as our one of our own, Serenity D&B, Spooky, and Hemnoth. I always pronounce that wrong. But they came right into VR, and even though they're an IRL label, they came right to us and other people we worked with and like, hey, we're not from here, how do we do this? And we talked to them about the importance of Quest compatibility, about how to, put your group forward and your community first, then worry about your brand, so that way, you don't cross wires when, team members catch an ego, which is something that's very important. You have to have some level of ego, but you also got to keep it chill, so that way, you're not coming off too strong when you're trying to promote your products, which they have a lot of products. And they nailed the head. They hit the nail on the head with that one. We love these guys. We love working with them. Last two events are 3-day festivals, so we have these two pillars in the middle. This one is Virtua Fest. You guys know Virtua Lily, right?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, longtime member of Global Team. So this is a 3-day festival that she did. In fact, for this summer, Virtua Fest she went and featured that in our community bulletin board for VKET as well, so that she could share the love a little bit while that event was going on. So we love Lily. She's made some incredible stuff over the years. I've worked with her for a very long time, so it's always good to just to have friends doing things together with other friends and our community members, right? And you've got a second 3-day event here as well. Man, 3-day events. I think I'm too old for those now. Because I'm thinking back to like the World Electronic Music Festival in Canada, and my back hurts.
So this one was powered by Focus Entertainment, and each day a different one of our partners helped out. So day 1 for Love and Hate, it was a heavy melodic music festival, and we had Schism, us, Calibrate, and Hypothetical with Rift. All the same names on day 2, except this was powered by Rift, and then the third day was Hypothetical. So this was really important because each day a different community picked up the heavy lifting, but to the people who were attending the party, it was one seamless experience. With a lot of very, very heavy production value. Focus Entertainment focuses on optimizing particle systems and live performances and kind of getting everything into one good flow, so you forget for a little bit that you're actually wearing the headset, and they do a fantastic job of that. And one of the tools for that, actually, you guys kicked off, and I'm trying to get as many people to use shader motion. We use shader motion to actually set this up.
How to do, right? This is something you learned how to do thanks to being able to build a booth in VKET.
Exactly.
So a huge shout out to Lox for being the absolute galaxy brain behind this tool. So how was the experience of getting this animation in here with shader motion? What was that like?
Seamless. Because of Lox's World, where you can mocap yourself using OBS and go to the website and have it just spit out a .anim file, which you can plug right into Unity, this was actually really easy to do. The only thing is, because of the world that we're in, and we weren't allowed to have root motion, so they seem a little floaty. But if this was a standard VRChat world or a venue, or let's say this was a live stream of these puppets, they would be locked to the floor just like you are or like I am now. Essentially what we do is we take a puppet of the avatar, we strip it down, make it one material, make it one mesh, so it's super optimized, and then if I'm in instance 1 dancing like this and it's recording my motions, you're going to see me in real time without latency because it comes off the video player in every single instance moving forward. So if you have a large community and a lot of people that are trying to see the event, rather than have them hung up in a queue or in an instance that doesn't have any dancers or DJs, this is a fantastic way to make sure that they can see the show even if they're not in instance 1. Everyone can have the same experience.
I love that. I love the cross-instance experience. I have a lot of experience working with shader motion. It's great to see someone picking up that torch and working with it again for their community and making, enhancing things. And I'm really glad that you were able to discover it through VKET. So my job's done. I can go home now. well done. So you got a bit more going on in the world here. I noticed you've got two video links. How does that work?
So the 13th, like I said, we have a dance cipher. For those who may or may not be dancers, does this look like an area that would be very easy to have a dance event in?
It looks like there's a lot of stuff in the way.
Yeah. So actually, if you would press this button for me.
Sure. Oh, hey.
How about that?
So we made it so that way when you walk up, you can see everybody popping in. It removes the walls, and we have a stage in the middle. And this is where we're going to be having our dance cipher with Temple. The second link on there for Live Link has Schism's CDN baked into it. So the day of, we're going to be able to provide a DJ on these decks provided by Focus Entertainment. And we're going to have a real time. Yeah, it's gonna be a really good time. But we wanted, again, Ministry is very bad at saying, hey, look at us. We like to point at other people, and that's our whole thing. So we figured, why not host something at the booth, seeing as we have so many resources we can bake into it.
Wow, I'm really glad. It can be very difficult to have this much interactivity in the booth and to have things like, like animations running and to have multiple things that you can turn off and on and to have it look as good as it is. I know you get a little more room with a community booth, and this is like a great way to say if you have a community and you want to sign up for our booth projects, we have a very small list of communities and we do a call out for that. And this is very different from doing a regular exhibit at VKet, which you've also done. But this is a way to showcase and share the communities like we're doing right now. So it can be hard to get all of this in here, even in a regular booth, and even with a community booth, you do have limitations. So you guys have done a great job here. You can do live video. You can obviously have video and audio fade. And of course, you can include as many people as you want. And you guys have done a great job of including as many communities as possible. So you mentioned your event's on the 13th. Let's talk about that. So you're gonna have an dance cipher in here. It's gonna happen right here.
Right here.
And how do people find it?
So you can join our Discord, typical discord.gg/ministry promotions. We're going to be making a lot of noise about it in any of our partner channels, as well as on Blue Sky and Twitter. If you're already in the ministry promotions group, there's going to be a link going out there. I'm not sure if we're using your guys' group or ours, but we're still going to be running promotion out of ours either way. In which you can
We'll make
join
sure to
by
highlight.
clicking that thing right over there.
Yeah, make sure to join their group if you want to be part of this event.
Yeah. But it's going to be an absolute blast, and I'm really excited because for us, a lot of work goes into providing resources and teaching and kind of like opening doors for other communities that, are oftentimes much bigger than us and have more resources. But because of that, it's kind of like a big container ship, right? The bigger something is, it gets to a point where you got to spend 10, 15 minutes putting in the coordinates, and the ship takes 20 minutes to turn 5 degrees, and then you got to do it again to get it to go straight, right?
I hear ya.
So for
That's
something
awesome.
like this, it's big, it's grandiose. Wow, we're coming to VKet and doing something hot, but it's kind of like a day off, right? We get to just chill, party, have some dancing, and because we're all in one place, there's not a lot that we already did all the work, right? Now we just get to talk about it, which is the fun part, and then come to it.
I know how you feel. So we got a bit of time still. So you've got a bunch of events coming up. So it's not, you've had one already this weekend, and then you've got one on the 13th. 13th Eastern, so 14th in Japan time. And you mentioned some events early on.
Cut you off, but I don't want to pull any steam out of that. That is a QN event. We are providing logistics for it and promotions. Yes.
Okay, so Quantum Networks. Is that Quantum Networks and EOZ for that first event?
Nope. So we're the ones working with EOZ. They're actually working with Slime.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So you've got but you guys are just doing logistics for them to help run the event.
Yeah.
It's great to see. It's great to see those communities kind of come together to do that. So we'll have some details about those communities as well, and you can find those in our Discord, and also check them out. You're going to find information at event.vket.com where all of those are listed. So it's really good to see. You guys are a little bit involved in just about everything, right? And so that's the first thing that you're doing a little bit on, but that's more them. What's your next event? We have a Q&A happening.
Yep. So before that, leading to it, we have an AMA with Jason, as previously mentioned, and basically we're going to have different communities throw up some questions, and they're going to be able to come and ask. If you like Full Body, or if you have any questions about what a company like EOZ thinks of being in the community or how they like to interact with it, this will be your opportunity to come do it. We want to try to humanize these entities in VR. There's this big stigma around companies or corporate sponsors or being a DJ with labels or branding or this or that. And we definitely know for a fact that less is always more. No matter, and I pick this up a lot because I used to work in corporate IT and do a lot of marketing with Verizon Wireless. You'd be shocked just how many times people stress themselves out and they got to put their tie just right, but then they show up to an environment where their boss is in sweatpants and sneakers and they got to stain and you know, at the end of the day, everyone's just people. So it's going to be really nice to do the AMA with them and talk about things that they want to talk about, such as creating more immersive experiences in VR, learning how to dance, bringing people together. Me and you could ballroom dance right now, and you're in Japan, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's fantastic to be able to do this kind of thing with that sort of low latency, right? And the one of the thing too is a lot of people like, so Hickey is kind of seen that way a little bit sometimes too. So it's really refreshing to have someone like yourself who sort of recognizes that we're all community members, we're all VRChat players. Even the big bosses, especially the big bosses, are huge fans of VRChat, and they're here to have a good time and throw an event, and because they got the passion just like you guys do. And people like Jason are just like that too. And we all are, right? So everybody's got a day job, and having but these guys get to do it by building really cool products for that regular VRChat users use every single day. Things like Tundra trackers, things like the new Stretch Sense gloves that are coming out. And they tend to hook up with people like, sadly it's Bradley and other known entities and build really cool stuff. So yeah, it's really great that you guys are having that AMA. And don't be afraid to come talk to some of those entities. I'm sure you'll end up with one of their trackers with the track straps or one of their products someday. So don't be afraid to talk to these people. It's great to have them come in and do that. And it doesn't happen very often, but VR seems to be one of those places, like social VR seems to be one of those places where you can have that conversation with everyday people and realize, like you said, they're just like us. They just happen to be doing something that everybody enjoys or a product that people know about, right? So it's really great. And then you have stuff going all the way to the end of the event, even during VKet Reel. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes. So QN is bringing us on one more time on the 20th, and because we've been working so intimately with them for the last year, as well as now on VKet, we have something on the 21st. So there's going to be a rave on the 20th that everyone's very encouraged to look at. It's going to be advertised through you guys, but then on the 21st, we have something special. I've seen a lot of cool stuff come out of the previous Music VKets, and I think personally that Music VKet is a massive tool that the scene needs. I think that a lot of people forget how often names like Camellia or the Teriyaki Boys have come to VR already, or how easy it is to set up events like this. And so what we did is we got together with specifically producers that exist in the space that are going to play 100% of their own music that is either off of their own tracks or that no one's heard before. And we have a nice long day of that. We are going to be providing dancers and logistics with our there's going to be special performances by our partners again at Temple. We're going to have multiple instances, so we'll be able to fit everyone. We're going to be running that through our partners at Rift, Cozy Club, and Hypothetical. We're also going to have friends from Goons help us as well. There's a lot going into that, and most importantly, our partners at Cybar. Now, the Cyberbar community has grown a lot because it's an RP community, and a lot of people don't realize that the club scene is actually a very small part of VRChat, and it just happens to be the loudest, right? So we think it's way bigger than it is. So bringing attention to these RP communities is very important, especially because they operate in primarily public instances. All the stereotypes we know about black cats and those types of just public lobbies, that's where they operate, right, in their own home worlds, and they moderate accordingly almost every night, several instances. So when they come to a event like VKet or anything with Ministry where there's a culture already in place, everyone's kind of already expecting what to expect, and it's a group plus or even a private, maybe there's something like this where it's a little bit more condensed. We get some almost militant hosts ready to just greet people, play games, keep people engaged, but to them it's a day off. and they're going to be
Right.
helping us with promotion and hosting for all of those instances on the 21st. And so what we're kind of trying to do is roll all of this engagement into that for a big bang, so that way everyone can really remember, hey, I went to VKET and now I know what it is. It's shocking
that's
how
really
many
great.
people tell me, what is VKET?
Yep. Unfortunately, that is a common sentiment on our end for sure. So, Chad, what have you got? What have you got for Scoot here?
I think just for clarification, so Ministry is more of like an event like organizer, not a dancing educational system, right?
A little bit of
A,
both,
a little
right?
bit of B. Yes. So when it comes to lessons and whatnot, we try to offload that to our partners. Again, a lot of our prefects do offer classes either on their own or through some of our partnered communities.
Okay.
We try to get everyone to that, essentially. We want to create an ecosystem where we can catch as many new users and get them to where they're going to enjoy things most, or grab users who have been here for a while, or communities and teams that have been here for a while, and point them in their projects in directions that make them work less to achieve more. I know that's a whole lot of
So-
word soup, but
No. So let's say, for example, someone wants to get invested into the group, right? So maybe one person's more interested on the event organization and another person is more interested in maybe the dance part of the organization. I guess like there's, once they get involved, there's like just separate paths they can take once they're in like your Discord and everything.
yeah, so Ministry has different wings. We have a dance wing, we have a DJ wing, which is where our producers live, and we have a promotional media wing. We're always looking for new actors, cinematographers, editors, post effect editors, whatever the word for that is. I'm kind of new to the media side. We're looking for more dancers, people who want to lead. And I'll give you an example of what you're asking for the event side. So a friend of mine, Gata, he actually has a 2-day festival coming up this weekend, and we're going to be helping out with that as well. Now, he initially wanted to come promote with us, but he wasn't exactly sure what he wanted to do because there was so much to do with VR. There's so much to talk about. And so instead, he tried to grab because he's a DJ, right? So he tried to grab the resources he understood and kind of ball them up without much of a plan, but to create a few events here and there. And wherever he needed help, we plugged in logistics. And as time went on, as he took his bruises and cut his teeth, now every 3 to 4 months, he runs one of the largest festivals we see. And because he's new to it, not a lot of people have heard about it. I think it's called Happy Days. One moment. Let me actually grab the name of that.
Happy hour.
Happy Hour.
There you
Yes.
go.
Now I've heard of that. Right on, right on.
Yes. Fire. Awesome. See? Boom. Thank you, Deli. But yeah, so
It's a
getting
team.
involved with Ministry, you can show up at events and have fun, or if you want help spearheading or even getting resources for your own project, whatever that might be, we either have something for you or we can get you in touch with someone who can help. And that's all we love to do.
So you're saying if you're somebody who's looking for a community that wants to get more involved in like the event and promo and dancing and EDM scene and everything that Ministry works with, this is a really good way to sort of like get in the wading pool first before jumping off of that diving board that is like world creation and promotion, right? So I know how hard it can be as somebody who's new to this community. They want to start building worlds. They want to start making a club. It's very hard. It can take years to build an audience. Like I got a good friend who just started doing that, Persefuncton, building Club Dark, which I know you guys have done some stuff with in the past.
Yes.
As a personal friend of mine, I remember when he started doing that, he had no clue. But when you guys got involved, things started to snowball for him. So, and now Club Dark has got a V2, which is awesome. And they have a pretty large community on the Euro side that are starting to come in. So they kind of found themselves in that scene, and they just get to build the world and work with it. But I think the help of Ministry, you guys were help to take him out of this like small club in VRChat, like small creator who nobody knows, to now like a pivot to what is like one of the bigger clubs in the Euro scene, right? So I think it's pretty great. Like I think it's wonderful.
But we definitely want to point out that they put in a lot of hard work, and I mean a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
When we
Shout
first
out to
showed
Brandon
up,
if
we
you're
saw
watching.
that their system, and it was a little heavy at first, but they have it to such a refined setting now to where anyone can show up and run events out of their venue. We actually partnered not too long ago with them. They've come a long way. Yes, Ministry has helped a lot of these teams, like with a lot of things, but at the end of the day,
you help to showcase their hard work, right? Like in the end, it is still what they're building, but you guys are that extra oomph that people need sometimes to get people in those clubs and in those indices.
Springboard.
And it's a springboard. And you guys, and the people that dance with you guys and things, I've known many of them. Like I'm a big EDM and events fan here in VRChat, and like you said, it's sometimes it's the loudest thing, but there's a lot of people trying to run clubs in here because they like what they see, or they've been to something like Shelter or Slyfest and they want to be able to do that themselves. Go talk to Ministry. That's probably the best way to put it. Find that community to help get your foot in the door and not have to learn to swim, right?
Yeah, we'll give you floaties until you're ready.
Yeah, exactly. No, and I like that. That's one thing I really like about your community. And thanks for taking a chance on VKet. I know it's a stressful and very different thing to get into, but here we are. So
we could not be more grateful for the opportunity to work with you guys. We've looked at
and
everything VKet's done since we started, and again, the difficult part is you guys promote everyone and we promote everyone, so it's kind of like that Spider-Man meme where we're both pointing.
No, you. No, very, very cool. Chad, do you have any questions for Ministry? Anything? Because I know this isn't your scene. Like you weren't really an EDM club goer kind of guy, and this is where I spend a lot of my time in VRChat is in that scene. So questions you would have for this as an outsider? What would you say to people who, or what would you ask for people who don't necessarily hang out in dance communities or VRChat club communities or crazy portal events that have like IRL music festivals, right?
I guess like one would be like, what is like the easiest way to discover you? Like, would it be through like a YouTube video? Would it be through like a social media post? What's like the easiest way to be like, oh, this exists, and then check it out from there?
Our YouTube is a great way to do that. So again, we don't. No two projects are the same, but a lot of them we have made video content for, and that's a good way to kind of get the scope of what's trying to be projected in terms of vibe. So if you're just floating around YouTube and you're following the hashtag VRChat hashtag, or if you use hashtag Ministry Promotions, you'll find a lot of the things we've done and been involved with. Again, we're on Twitter and Blue Sky. I always call it Blue Ski. But
Blue Scoot.
We try to go off of like an old school MTV approach. So I like when we have a sketchy M on a brick wall a lot more than a clear text poster saying join Ministry Promotions today. If you see our logo somewhere, just ask a few people in the room and someone's probably going to point you in the right direction. But the best way would be our group, or like you just mentioned, YouTube.
Okay, gotcha.
Nice.
Thank you.
And that's literally just YouTube, youtube.com /Ministry Promotions. I just went and looked it up. It was easy as that. And they do have a lot of videos on here, so if you guys want to see some cool stuff, there's some interviews in here. It looks like there's some dance ciphers in here. There's some highlight reels. Definitely go check it out. And if you've never, I guess we got a little bit of time. Describe a dance cipher for people who don't know what a cipher is.
Yes. Now I'm gonna do a bad job at this. I wish Blind was here for us. But basically, we have this big circle here, right? There's no structure. There's no plan. Basically, a bunch of people get together and they stand in a circle, and someone plays some music, and without any rhyme or reason, they kind of take turns popping in the middle and doing what they can. And it's a way to build community through dancing and to experience each other's moves and to show off what you've been working on that week.
They're breakdance.
It's a casual way for dancers of all sizes and shapes and skill levels to show up and throw down and have a good time together. Whether you're new to dancing, super experienced, whether you ballet, whether you break, pop, go, right here, this is for you.
That's great to hear. I got some questions from the chat, actually. Would you recommend your partners as a good starting off point, like Rift, Schism, Hypno, people like that?
100%. Especially Rift and coming out of the VKet pipeline, Rift and Schism are two very good ones because they are Quest compatible. as well as Temple, or you would also see them as the Faceless. The Faceless Temple is one entity, but they, again, very many branches. They're a VR university in so many terms. But Schism is Thrill Seekers community. It's worked on by him, Fia, and our friend here, Sonor Quip. Yep. And they do very, very high production value events. They always multi-instance. They use HoloSpace from DX to do that multi-instancing in a Quest-compatible way. Rift, again, is a community partner of Slyfest. They're one of our partners. They partner with a lot of different people that primarily focus on, again, growing the scene and giving that to all users, whether on a phone, a standalone headset, or a PC that can load all of the coolest shaders. You can find yourself at Rift having a good time.
Big thank you to Rift too for hosting one of the first events that happened here at VKet too.
Yes.
So it was really good to have them in here and helping us out. During our opening weekend, so that was pretty awesome. Rift has like a sort of an RP style EDM community, so it's very different from your standard like EDM club, where it's not like a club trying to replicate the real world, much like Schism. It's sort of a role play community where you're in a whole other world and there's lore behind it. Schism is quite similar in that way, where it's a very, very high level of production in the world itself, and as you walk in, it's like you're gobsmacked by the production value. So it's great. I would say, yeah, those three are definitely great. Tell me now. I don't know anything about Hypno. Tell me about that club as we close up.
Hypo.
Or
so
Hypo. I'm sorry. So
hypothetical-
that's how little I know. Hypothetical. Okay.
So it's funny, right? So we all started together. Me, Skippy Styles, the owner of Hypothetical, Gear from Gearbolt Game. Wow, my tongue. Gearbolt Gaming from Gearfest. We all started at one club back in the day called Club AU and have branched out since over time. No one really planned to set out to do anything. Skippy and Captain Zyro used to bounce around a lot of communities, helping out with hosting, booking DJs, performing, lineup structures, hosting, building teams. And Hypothetical is kind of like the final destination of that. That is like their thing. We're like, okay, we started it. We're not working on someone else's thing. Hypothetical is a fantastic place to dance, to meet people, to find other communities. It's always popping off. It's funny because we constantly try to promote, especially like we're going to be doing with the AMA, is for people to take the rose-colored shades off, because we're all still people, right? We're just people. And a lot of these big clubs that have like DJs as owners, they'll do their main event and then they'll show up at Hypothetical to just play normally. They're just throwing down, having a blast. They're like, no one's a headliner on that stage. Everyone on that lineup is considered fire. And I could talk about Hypothetical for hours, so I'm trying
it's
to
like
not show it.
it's the club for after parties, right? Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah.
It sounds like to me it's like it's the place to go.
It's a very
after the
Apex
event.
experience.
I like it very much. Well, we're getting close to the I guess 1 minute to go. Again, real quick, how do we find you on social media?
That would be on Twitter, Ministry Promotion VR. Blue Sky, I think it's the same tag. YouTube, you can find us at discord.gg/ministry promotions. We have a link tree that I got to post some more places, and we're going to be all around VKet for the next week and a half. So if you have any questions or you want to find us or you want to click on our group right over there here at
the easiest way.
Personage.
Yeah. Come to Cirque de Personnage Soleil and come find the Ministry booth and hit their group link. That's going to have the best information of anything right here on the outside. So you can't miss it. It's just past the first big tent, and you can find their big tent here at VKet. Thank you so much for everybody for sticking around and hanging out with us out here and enjoying all these interviews. This stream has been really awesome. I'm going to have so many cool clips from this one, I swear. And thank you again for, the 130 different people that have come into this stream this time. Again, thank you for Nyaru for the gigantic raid. Really means a lot. And for all of you for sticking around. So we must have been pretty interesting. You guys are good talkers. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're all very, very passionate about your communities. And I want more people to see this stuff too. So when this one was coming on, I made sure I was going to be here because I didn't want to miss this stream most of all, because this is really passionate. We've been working with these guys with Ministry and with Skits and Bits and with GS Genesis and the game show community for a while now, and it's great to see it all sort of come together. I know there's still things that we can do for each other, and things that we will do as the event goes on, but VKet's still happening right now, and you can find all the information at event.vket.com. So yeah, don't miss any of that. Come hang out, come party with us, come see some new avatars. What do you guys think of this world before we go? What do you think of this world? And all the creators in here.
I haven't even.
Do you guys feel blessed to be in
I
here?
get up to this point.
So
yeah,
good.
no, very blessed. It's so pretty. It's very atmospheric.
There's a story at the end if you catch it. So it's all about coming out of your shell and being something new, right? So it's definitely worth the story. I think it's a good fit for both your booths here at Ministry. And you've got one here, and you've got one in Eclipse as well, right? So there you go.
Yep, and another one in Grab City.
And Ground Graph City, there you go. You're pulling out all the stops. You got very lucky. So if you want to have a booth here in VKet, make sure to check out event.vket.com whenever we do our events. Come check out all the people that are here, and you can find their information by clicking at the event link at the top of event.vket.com, where they'll have all of the events listed. The word event is used way too many times in that sentence, but that's where we're going to have all that information. So definitely check out the website. Check out Scoot and their social media, as well as Ministry promotions. Don't forget about Skits and Bits and their improv show coming up, as well as GS Genesis and the game show special for charity that's going to be happening real soon with our friends in the ambassador team and a few others. So there you go. Wow, this stream has been awesome. I had a great time. Like, this is really good. I love asking these kinds of questions. What do you think, Chad?
No, yeah, I had fun. This was really fun. This was
good.
cool. I had a good time. This was fun.
This is what we love to do. It's great. It's great to highlight everybody. So let's get one more shot of the crowd before we take off for the night. Look at all these people who stuck around all this time. Thank you so much for spending all this time with us and hanging out and getting these interviews. Do you guys learn something? If you learned something, throw me an emoji, like your favorite emoji.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I just got back. I was semi-FK, but I can throw them out.
You can always catch the VOD too. We're on everything. So if you want to follow us again, if you're catching us on Twitch for the first time, we're also on YouTube. We'll have a VOD up there very shortly. We're also on X at ENVKet, and you can see a VOD there too. So yeah, it's so great. Again, thank you to everybody for being here. We've got a lot of old and new friends. It's pretty fun. So check out the rest of VKet. We're here till the 22nd, and then 21st and 22nd for VKet Real. What do you want to say to the crowd before we go, Chad? Besides who we're gonna raid, who we raid?
I want to say you should join a Discord, and if you don't join a Discord, you're not a real fan of VKet.
There you go. You can find all this stuff. You know, in fact, if you need an excuse to join the Discord, there's two things. One, thank you to all of our subscribers and people who gave us their Discord Nitro Gems to make us an official community.
Yes.
It's just discord.gg/VketGlobal. Really easy to find, and you get a bunch of really, really well-designed stickers and icons that you can't get anywhere else. Right? They're real good. But they're animated and stuff. Like we got a team of artists in there doing that. So if you want some cool stickers, you can get those. If that's the only reason. But the real reason you want to join that is all of these events that we're talking about, they're in our calendar. You can just have Discord yell at you to make sure that you're attending. So there you go. Easy mode. You don't want to miss any of these events. If you can't remember any of the dates that we talked through, you just got to click the, alert me button on the Discord. It's all right there. So we're looking forward to these events. And again, thank you for all the hard work that everybody does here. Enjoy the Worlds, and we'll see you pretty soon, actually.
Definitely. We'll definitely have another stream very soon.
When's our next event, Chad?
I want to say it's like in 16 hours from now. So, yeah, it's
3 more communities to spend.
There's so much stuff happening. There's so much stuff. Just check out our website. I can't explain it all. It's too much. I'm out of here. Bye.
Event.vket.com.